Hey, welcome back to Geocaching World with Andy Head Hard Hat Smith right there, and I'm Dave Dufour here at RVNN.TV, and we're talking about photography and geocaching and how the two really work together to really enhance an already great hobby, and two great hobbies in one, in essence. I had a question about this too. Is there any official way, event-wise, where photography gets combined with or is a requirement of a geocaching event?
Yeah, there's actually what a lot of times happens, and this gets a little confusing, and I don't mean it to be that way. What'll happen is a lot of times in the past, there were prerequisites to a geocache. In other words, there could be a way that the geocache owner says, I want you to for you to get your smiley, I want you to take a picture of yourself in front of the geocache or this point of interest and then send it in to me. Those are no longer required. But say for example, earth caches, I believe those still owner can sit there and say, here is this special formation, or here is this special geological process that's going right now. Mm-hmm. Take a picture of your GPS or take a picture of you with your GPS and send it in to me.
Okay. Well, we're going to look at some photos here. There are a number of pictures that you've provided here of different geocaches or different photos taken while geocaching. And this looks. I'm going to guess this is the Okefenokee Swamp, but maybe not.
Not quite, but this is actually a park that is in North Carolina, that is in the Piedmont, and just happens to have these beautifully, and I'm not quite sure the type of tree that is, but they're definitely a swamp tree that has those raised root structures, and you can see the size of them with the canoe over on your left.
Oh, sure.
It's just a gorgeous lake, really nice park where we happen to have an event.
Right, and this really kind of points out that this is the reason that you want a camera with you, of course, when you're geocaching, is because these are the kinds of views that you discover that you may not expect, and you lose them if you don't have the camera to take them home.
Yeah, you never know what you're going to run into while geocaching in general. This is a really good example here. What you're looking at is what's left over of an abandoned mill. And to the left where the concrete is actually the water area that came and flowed through the area. That's part of one of the big gears that the wheels had worked off. And the geocache, I won't tell you where it is actually in this view. It's actually attached in here. So it's one of those things where I just thought artistically, this is a cool thing to look at in general, and here a geocache is hidden there.
Right, and of course, you just mentioned something about photography too, which is that you weren't going to tell me where that cache was in that picture, even though I have no idea what the coordinates of that cache are. You're careful not to spoil it.
Yeah, no spoilers, and it's hard to do that for me particularly because I have my blog, I've got GeoSnippets, I've got all these different things where I show geocaches. I never tell where they're at. I never tell or have it so that there's a way for you to really track it unless you want to go through 5 years worth of geocaching. And then when I do display the pictures, you have no way of finding out exactly where it's at.
Right. Yeah, that's true. And so let's go look at what's this.
Now, this is one of the lakes. Again, there's a whole series of greenways that goes around this lake. It was just a gorgeous, not a lick of wind out there, beautiful cover, and it was one of those scenic spots that you just kind of had to sit there for about 5 minutes and just take it in. And you get this all the time when you go geocaching.
That's right. And then now that was taken with your little Canon there?
That was taken with my little Canon, and it's amazing what you can get with the camera.
There, with simple cameras, simple cameras like that. What else do we have here? Oh, this is an actual cache. Now, why do you take a picture of an actual cache?
One of the things that people never really believe is what's inside a geocache when you find it, especially if you're trying to explain to a muggle or somebody who is just getting interested into geocaching. Now, I can ask any of our RVers out there if they were going to a rest area or an area that is off one of your path routes that you're going with your RV, and you have your kids with you, Do you think kids, when they found this particular geocache, they're not going to light up like a holiday morning?
Right. Of course.
And taking a picture of stuff like this gives you really one of those things where you can say, look, when you go geocaching and you're doing that storytelling about your adventure, look what we found.
That's great. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, well, what other? Well, let's look at. We got another photo here. There's another shot around that same lake. Is that it?
Yep,
okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Oh, and of course, nature.
Yeah, Courtney had asked a couple of shows back if there was ever a time where I ran across critters.
Right.
What you're looking at here, that just to give you a size of some of the stuff that's in North Carolina, that green leaf is about the size of a large dinner plate.
Wow.
So this little guy is an orb spider that I just happened to literally bump into while I was going for a geocache, and he just kind of climbed up on the back of the leaf. How would you ever know that was there, and to be able to take a picture like that without having a camera with
Right. Yeah, you do have to have it handy. Now, of course, there's some advantages to the cell phone cameras in a situation like that, or when you're geocaching and out in the woods, is that you can actually share those pictures almost instantaneously. Is there a good reason to want to do that while you're geocaching?
I'll tell you what, there are so many different sites out there. You've got Flickr, you've got Picasa. I do my blog. There are times where I will go out on a run and I will tell people, hey, by the way, I'm going geocaching today. I'm geocaching all day. I will send in posts as I do it. And you can literally take that shot, send it up to your blog, and people can see instantly what you're doing. Not to even mention Twitter or Facebook or any of the other social networks.
There you go. Yeah, and really we're in a world now where for the most part, you're usually not going to be too far away from a cell tower that you're going to be able to do that, even in state parks and things like that.
Yep, and even when you are out of range for a little bit, it doesn't take long, and once you do get close enough to a tower, you're off and sending.
There you go. That's good. Okay, well, we're going to talk more about photography and the whole idea of telling your geocaching stories when we come back on Geocaching World, so stay with us. Got a question or a comment about geocaching? Send it to geocache@rvnn.tv or leave us a voicemail at 877-578-RVNN, extension 714. Tell us about a cache you especially enjoyed finding, and we may feature it in an upcoming episode. Follow RV Newsnet on Facebook and Twitter, and you can receive text messages to alert you when we're streaming live by texting RVNN to 72727. That way, you can join us live in the chat room, ask questions, and become part of the RV Newsnet family. Remember, any photos or other material submitted to us become the property of RV Newsnet and cannot be returned. For more TV like this from the world of RVs, head to rvnn.tv.